these wings replace your fear. There is no reason why. We laugh until we cry. Then we gather up our lives and go together, going home.
You know, I'm still thinking about this. This advertisement that I was talking about at the end of the first hour. Got insurance? Let's get physical. Oh my God, he's hot. Let's hope he's as easy to get as this birth control. My health insurance covers the pill, which means all I have to worry about is getting him between the covers. I got insurance, now you can too. Thanks, Obamacare. So what the federal government is doing is encouraging people to have sex at the drop of a hat. They're actually telling people, hey, you've got Obamacare, you got the pill. There's no reason not to There's no reason not to have sex with anyone you meet at any time. Because now you've got Obamacare. That's the best thing about Obamacare, is that we can have sex anytime we want with anyone we meet. Some woman runs into a guy at the gas station. Hey, I got Obamacare. I got my pill. Let's do it. You're kind of hot. Boy, I'll tell you. And what is it about the Democrats that they love encouraging people to behave immorally? It's not just that Democrats are on the fence and they're not really concerned about morality one way or the other. They are actually pushing immorality. It's more important for them that more people behave immorally than just about anything else. And I guess it's because the people who behave immorally are going to be suffering consequences, and the Democrats will pay for your consequences. So you're going to vote Democrat. If you're going to be a stupid woman like this dumbass bitch. By the way, sorry, I know I told myself I'm not going to use that word, but in this case, this woman, as portrayed in the advertisement, is a dumbass bitch. And what kind of person models for this kind of advertising? What kind of stupid woman gets in front of the camera and pretends like she's going to take her birth control pill and this guy that she just met? I mean, this is really just the most offensive thing I've seen in a very, very long time. I called a friend of mine on the phone, and I read the information about this ad. I described it, and I read the text of the body of the ad. And he says, really? No way. That's the federal government advertising Obamacare. Unbelievable. I'm Jimmy Z. It's side 2, the big Jimmy Z show. Here we go. I got my birth control, and now I can this guy. I got my birth control, and now I can this guy. Jimmy Z, Z, Z. Jimmy Z, Jimmy Z, Z. Jimmy Z, Z, Z. Jimmy Z, Z, Z. Jimmy Jimmy Z. Jimmy Z.
The Jimmy Z Show is produced, written, and directed by Jimmy Z. The show is wholly owned by Jimmy Z. All rights reserved. Content from other sources belong to the copyright holder and/or speaker. In each case, Jimmy Z can be reached via email at thejimmyzshow@gmail.com or by calling 714-905-9591. That's 714-905-9591.
If I had a Ruger, I'd shoot it in the morning, I'd shoot it in the evening, all over this land. I'd shoot in self-defense, I'd fire out a warning, I'd shoot about my love for Constitution and my country, all over this land. If I had a Glock, I'd shoot it in the morning, I'd shoot it in the evening, all over this land. I'd shoot in self-protection, I'd fire out a warning, I'd shoot about my love for Constitution and my country, all over this land. If I had a Colt, I'd shoot it in the morning, I'd shoot it in the evening, all over this land. I'd shoot it at the gun range, I'd fire out a warning, I'd shoot about my love for Constitution and my country, all over this land. Well, I've got a Ruger, and I've got a Glock, and I've got a Colt to shoot all over this land. It's a Ruger for justice, it's the Glock for freedom, it's a Colt about my love for Constitution and my country, all over this land, all over this land, all over this land, all over this land, all over this land.
Morning, guys.
If my people...
We know that millions of Americans are praying for our country. And yet, Barack Obama won re-election. Disappointment leads Americans to doubt. And doubt leads to fear. But what if our prayers for America have been answered?
God answers prayer.
Maybe. We just don't know it yet. You're listening to The Jimmy Z Show right here on KJZS and worldwide at thejimmyzshow.com.
I'm very disappointed in the president.
Thought he was kind of a dick.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Jimmy Z. Limited edition, all power, fully equipped, right here on The Jimmy Z Show. And I want to remind you to feel free to comment right here on my show page. Underneath each show posted, there's a button there for comments. You can click and have your way with Jimmy Z. Whether you agree or disagree, I don't care. You can write whatever you like, as long as you are decent and civil about it. Okay, we were talking with Darla Daywald from Patriot Action Network about Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the arguments that she's making to defend Obamacare in spite of what's happening. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was on with Candy Crowley over the weekend. CNN's State of the Union. Here's some audio from that.
I want to put up an exit poll from the Virginia elections where the Democrat Terry McAuliffe won. The question was, what's your opinion of Obamacare? 46% of Virginia voters supported it. 53% opposed it. I want to add on to that a meeting at the White House Wednesday with a collection of 15 Senate Democrats, most of whom are up for re-election, who rang the alarm bell at the White House and said, do something, this is hurting us. Is there a fix that the president could put in place now that would ease the concerns of both those voters in Virginia and those senators having to run for re-election?
Well, Candy, let's take a look at what the election outcome in Virginia means. Terry McAuliffe won Virginia, and he won it with the same percentage, just about, that President Obama won Virginia just a year ago. And what Election Day this past Tuesday in Virginia, a very competitive state, showed you is that when the voters are presented with a candidate who focuses on creating jobs and investing in education and working together versus a candidate who doubled down on the politics of shutdown, who embraced Tea Party extremism, who was a leader in the war on women, particularly on women's health, they overwhelmingly chose Terry McAuliffe, the Democratic candidate, and elected him.
Okay, there's Debbie Wasserman Schultz blathering excrement out of her mouth again. Overwhelmingly, tried barely. Terry McAuliffe barely won the election. He won by like 1.5 points. And that was because, boy, I tell you, I can't stand it when she's talking and lying out of her teeth, saying that Terry McAuliffe won overwhelmingly. Not even close to overwhelmingly. Now listen as Candy Crowley completely loses control of the interview. Because Debbie Wasserman Schultz, I think, tells her twice, shut up, I'm still talking. In so many words.
And that is what we're going to be looking at. Right. Just one sec. They're going to be having the same choices all across the country with Tea Party governors that were elected in 2010 having to run on similar records against candidates who are going to give them a similar choice. But when it comes to Obamacare specifically, Obamacare did not have anything to do with Tuesday's outcome. You don't think it made the election closer?
You don't, I mean, because...
No, I really don't. Because
so
if you look at the results a year ago and the results are now, they were about the same.
Right. If you look at 2014, if you look at this through the prism of 2014, you don't think that Obamacare will weigh heavily on Democratic elections?
I think Obamacare, because Americans have been feeling the benefits since 2010, where young adults can stay on their parents' insurance until they're 26, where on January 1st, if you have a pre-existing condition, like I do, as you know, as a breast cancer survivor.
These are all the same old tired arguments, and you'll notice she is not talking at all about the people who have lost their insurance, the people who are paying through the nose huge increases in their insurance policies for insurance policies that cover stuff that they don't want.
The peace of mind that those Americans are going to have knowing that they can never be dropped or denied coverage for that pre-existing condition, the preventative care that's available without a copay or deductible.
All of those things that she just listed, all cause everyone's insurance premiums to go up.
Those are benefits that Americans have already been feeling and will increasingly feel as Obamacare is fully implemented. So I think, actually, Candy, that Democratic candidates will be able to run on Obamacare as an advantage leading into the 2014 election.
How many Floridians have lost their health care insurance in the private market?
The situation that Floridians or any person who's gotten a transition letter from their insurance company.
Well, there you go. Debbie Wasserman Schultz spinning again. It's not called a notice of cancellation. It's a transition letter. No, it's really not. These are not letters that are entitled Notice of Transition. What a liar she is. Oh, man, I'll tell you. This is a horrible woman, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. One of the nastiest politicians ever. God help her when she dies. And I'm saying that truthfully and honestly and compassionately, I guess, to a certain degree, because God help her. For everything she's done, if she doesn't get right with God, she's going to spend eternity in hell. And I'm saying that right now to make myself feel better.
The situation that Floridians or any person who's gotten a transition letter from their insurance company are in is that they will have an opportunity to shop on the exchange and compare plans.
Right.
And when they have, and you can, the CEO of Florida Blue was on a Sunday show just a week or so ago talking about how they are offering a replacement plan for the plans that they're transitioning, and in most cases, the plan that the person is going to benefit from is actually lower cost and has more benefits.
You know what? I don't believe her. I don't believe anything she just said. Not a word of it.
So, it is a real significant distortion to say that that hundreds of thousands of people are being canceled. What's actually happening is that they are very likely going to get a better plan for less money.
Nonetheless, 100,000 people, hundreds of thousands of people have had their insurance canceled. Some of them, certainly not all of them, but some of them have expressed an interest in keeping it. Should the president support any kind of move, and there are those in Congress, and some of them are Democrats who say, yes, people who have insurance they want to keep in the private market should be allowed to keep it. And that's not just Republicans pushing that.
Well, and the president himself said that to the extent that his commitment and our commitment that if you liked your plan you could keep it is not possible for, which is actually about less than 5% of the folks in the individual market, then we are going to work towards making sure they can do that. What we're not going to do is we're not going to allow the Republicans embracing the idea that we should stop people from being able to get access to quality, affordable health care.
Okay, there's the same thing that Darla Daywald was talking about. This is the same argument that Debbie Wasserman Schultz was making back in 2009 and 2010. And that's the Republicans just want to keep people from having health care. What a load of crap.
We're not going to let new plans be sold like the Upton bill would do to allow insurance companies to drop them or deny them coverage for pre-existing conditions, to charge women double just because we're women, and to suggest that we have to do that and create two separate tracks that are going to allow people to be discriminated against again and not have good quality health care, that's unacceptable, and it's unacceptable to Americans. We're not going backwards.
And just a yes or no, because I've got to run. You believe that Democrats will win running on Obamacare in 2014?
I think because Americans reject the Tea Party extremism. They want us to focus on creating jobs and working together.
Wait a minute. Democrats are going to start working on jobs now? This president has been there in the White House for 5 years, and you still haven't done a damn thing about jobs.
And because they will feel the benefits of Obamacare, okay. Yes.
All right.
Okay, I still think that Obamacare is toast, and that the Democrats running, by the time we get to August and September and October of 2014, the Democrats are going to be in a full panic, because between now and then, Obamacare is not going to get better. There's not going to come a time where people are saying, well, all that stuff we were worried about last year, it's not that big a deal. We love Obamacare. It's just become so great. A few people, perhaps, but not the majority. Most Americans are going to be sick up and fed of it by the time the election rolls around in November of 2014. Can you dig it? I know you can. Okay, I'm going to change topics here. I'm going to talk about the movies real quick. Bruce Dern was on the Charlie Rose program on PBS a couple of nights ago. Over the weekend, I watched it. And I was a little bit shocked by how much older Bruce Dern is now. but the interview was fascinating. And it was so nice to hear people talking about the movies, and there wasn't anything about politics. No politics, no right wing, no left wing, no Democrats, no Republicans, no politics. It was simply talking about making movies. And he told a story about Ben-Hur from a conversation he had years ago with Charlton Heston. And I've never heard this story before, and I want you to hear it. It's a wonderful story. As we start here, Bruce Dern is talking about the director of Nebraska. His name is Alexander Payne. Nebraska is the new movie that Bruce Dern stars in, about an aging, booze-addled father making a trip from Montana to Nebraska with his estranged son in order to claim $1 million mega sweepstakes marketing prize. And Dern is really big on the movie. But what I'm playing for you is a clip where he talks about making great movies and making great movies with great directors and what makes a great director. It's really something. And again, the story about Ben-Hur, I've never heard before.
6 for 6. He's made 6 pretty good movies in a row.
Right.
Secondly, he's basically the linchpin of the movie. He drives the movie a certain way because the story kind of follows him. But it's a teamwork movie. It's all of us together. I mean, that's behind the camera, too. I mean, he's got 85 people on the crew, and 47 have worked every day on every movie he's ever made. So you have a family. Yeah. You don't dare not risk. You don't dare not take chances because they're there to back you up. He told me the first day, go out there on the edge, stay there every day like you like to do, and we got your back. And then he's sitting right here, not way over there at a monitor, right here, and he gets delight out of watching the movie for the first time. He's seeing the scenes. He knows they work on paper. So he sits there sometimes like a little kid, just watching the movie.
Sort of saying, yeah, that worked, didn't it?
Yeah.
I thought it would, but it did.
Yeah, it was, and also the piece of material was magnificent. I've been in others. I mean, people say, well, you mean it's a better chance than in Gatsby? My problem with Gatsby has always been, I don't think Mr. Fitzgerald ever wrote it to be a visual experience for an audience. An example being, how do you put the last paragraph on a screen? Right. It can't be done. Right. And I'm sure Mr. Salinger was up to the same thing. They're about the reader's mind, the reader's heart. And when you put it on the screen, I don't know, sometimes it's like very rarely, only till the last maybe quarter of a century have they ever put Christ's face on a screen. You know, he was always, you couldn't see who he quite was. And one of the great stories I've heard in my career, well, I'm wondering, you want to ask questions?
No, go ahead. I want you to go.
Charlton Heston told me when they were doing Ben-Hur, they came to a scene, William Wyler shut the movie down for 2 days to look for a face. He spent 2 days, he saw 1,300 faces in Rome, or they were right outside where they were shooting. And he finally picked one. And in the scene in the movie, it's a Roman centurion who rides up, and Heston on his way, Ben-Hur on his way to the chain gang, is stopping at a well for water. The centurion hates him. He cracks his whip. A man bends down and starts helping Heston get a drink of water with a goblet and kind of washing his face a little bit. And the centurion cracks the whip again. And he said, I said no water for him. And he gets the thing back again, and the man stands up and turns around. And William Wyler wanted to cast an actor who could show he just looked into the face of God, because it's Jesus Christ that gives him the water. And that's movie making. That's what I came for. And that Wyler would, well, no wonder he's as good as he was and everything. But that the wonderful part, half my career has just been sitting at the feet of a lot of people. When we did that championship season, we had Stacy, we had myself, Marty Sheen, Paul Sorvino, and Jason Miller, who wrote and directed. We just sat at Mitchum's feet. Yeah. I mean, how can you not listen to this guy? And when I think to myself how they kind of got excited about our age group in the beginning 70s, because they stopped doing movies just about conventional leading men and women, but started making movies about people on the edge more, people that were out there more exposed, more study of behavior. Well, if you look back on it, Mitchum might be one of the first guys that was into that, because you go back and look at Night of the Hunter.
Right.
That's Strange Folks from a Hollywood movie star, and he was into that kind of stuff.
Watch it on YouTube. I'll put the link for it in my show notes.
Water for the soldiers! Soldiers first!
Water.
Get away from that well! No water for them! Get them away from that well! Come on, you! Come on, you! Water for the horses!
Water.
Soldiers first! Here! Wait! No water for him.
Help me. Said no water for him. Feet, all of you. Get them on their feet. Back in line, you dog. On your feet. Get them going. You there. Back to your place. Back to your place. Forward, you dogs!
They want to substitute capitalism with socialism. And ladies and gentlemen, we are well on the way. Look, I would love to put a smiley face on all this, but I can't. There's cause for alarm.
The Jimmy Z Show.
The path to restoring our republic was laid down by our founding fathers. The principles of freedom, liberty, personal responsibility, and limited government are conservative ideals we will never abandon. America is listening. Grassroots, common sense, conservative talk radio. It's on the internet. Tune in now. Red State Talk Radio, featuring some of the most popular internet talk show hosts in America today. Are you listening? RedStateTalkRadio.com.
Tune into Ghostfighter Radio. Ghostfighter Radio. Ghostfighter Radio. Ghostfighter For the greatest shows on the net. Andrea Shea King, Jimmy Z, Captains America, Darren Marlar, Getting After Lefty, The Conservative Brigade, and many more. Ghostfighter Radio. Go to theghostfighters.net, where we are fighting the forces of tyranny, one radio show at a time. Ghostfighter Radio. Ghostfighter Radio. Ghostfighter Radio.
The following takes place between 12 noon and 2 p.m. Eastern Time. There's so much to talk about here. This is the kind of thing that drives me nuts. A lot of conservatives don't like your host talking openly and honestly about what's going on in politics in the United States of America. My voice, my words are so powerful that conservatives...
You want answers? I think I'm entitled.
Shallow-thinking conservatives...
You want answers? I want the truth!
...could not stand to deal with me.
You can't handle the truth!
Because I'm right. Because I'm right. It's that simple. Join me, Jimmy Z, weekday afternoons right here on TalkSuperstation.com. Hey everybody, I want to invite you to tune in every weekday afternoon to hear the Jimmy Z Show on Net Talk World Global Talk Radio, your home for American, common sense, conservative, independent, patriotic talk radio. My show is cutting-edge conservative talk radio colored by my Christian faith. And some might say oversaturated, but that's their problem. It's the Jimmy Z Show right here at Net Talk World Global Talk Radio.
Hi, everybody. This is the Captain, and you're listening to my good friend Jimmy Z right here on Net Talk World Global Talk Radio. The Jimmy Z Show, just one of the fine shows heard on nettalkworld.talkspot.com. Go there and find out more. Let's hear more now from Jimmy Z.
We will keep this promise to the American people. If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor, period.
If you like your doctor, you keep your doctor. If you like your current insurance, you keep that insurance.
If you've got health insurance, you like your doctor, you like your plan, you can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan. Nobody is talking about taking that away from you. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. If you like your health care plan, you can keep your health care plan.
I understand it, but it doesn't mean I respect it.
Hi, everybody. Jimmy Z. Welcome back. The Big Jimmy Z Show right here at thejimmyzshow.com. And, of course, I'm not ready. I have no idea what I'm going to say because I don't have my notes in front of me. This is the only part of the show where I need notes. I was going to say, I don't care about opinion, just give me the truth, but I said that a couple of days ago. So that's way out of rotation. I'll say, Jimmy Z, the perfect bastard. How about that? That was awful. All right, I've got some audio here from Dick Morris and a very important piece of audio from Bill Keller of liveprayer.com. So I think we'll do that. We'll get back to politics and Dick Morris and Obamacare afterwards. But for now, It's time for some Christian stuff. All right, this is Bill Keller, another message about saving America. And this is a very important daily devotional because it goes through some specific things that we can do to turn America back in the right direction. And without question, the way to do that is to get America right with God again. Bill Keller's website is liveprayer.com, and here is Bill Keller.
This is Bill Keller, founder of liveprayer.com with the Daily Devotion.